So, I figure, do you know what? Today is, wait, what day is it today? Today's Wednesday. I already filmed an episode of Winds of Change. Hearts of the North. Oh my god. Should I restart filming? No, screw it. So, yeah, I already filmed an episode of Hearts of the North today. But you know what? I'm off for a week off work, so I figured, you know what? I'm going to finish Hearts of the North right now. I'm going to finish it. This could be the second to last episode, really. If I get this whole quest in, I might do a lot of cutting on this quest, because it's a nice quest, because we'll be going back to some various places, but it's also a lot more kind of just wading through fudge, stuff like that. So there might be a bit of cutting here. If I do end up cutting this video, then yeah, this may very well be the second to last episode for Hearts of the North, and then we'll be on to Winds of Change. Which, by the way, I've now done all of my preparation for Winds of Change. I am sorted. I need to finalise the build I want my character to be using, Tom to use, but pretty much we're ready to go, and that one will take a lot longer. Actually, I've played through Winds of Change enough times now to appreciate how long it really is. But yeah, so we've got everyone here. This is our team. We'll be needing those later. And we've come back. So Gwen and Kieran were reunited. I thought something was going to happen at Anvil Rock. I don't know why I thought that, because obviously it doesn't happen. But they reunited, and apparently they've got a lot to say to each other, but they just wanted to enjoy each other's company for a while and come home. And now finally we are back. Everyone's back. Is this Gwen's final happily ever after? She says, "There's so much on my mind. Feelings of relief, fear, anxiety, and excitement. I don't know how to handle it all right now. All I can say is thank you." At least she keeps thanking us and giving us 1,000 gold every single time. I mean, that's helpful at the very least. So, we've done that. Now, what you want to do is, this is a little bit bad, but hey, you've got this far through the Guild Wars Beyond content. You should know to expect it, especially around the Hall of Monuments. You have to zone out and then zone back in, and that will cause the next bit of dialogue to begin. Oh, well, there's some extra NPCs there just now that I didn't speak to. We'll have a chance to speak to them now anyway. I'm pretty sure there were, and I should have spoken to them already. That was in my plans. Were there? No, maybe not. No, maybe they'll join us later. So, you zone back in, and once again, like it happened so many times before, we see Kieran walk in towards Gwen for what might be the last time. And then the spirits get in his way. He just strides on by, because he's a boss like that. You're a changed man, Kieran. Look at you now. I'm still taller than you, so there's that. Yeah, so he comes over. "Hi, Gwen. Long time no see." "Kieran, what is it? You aren't being your usual happy-go-lucky self," she says. "Gwen, there's something that I need to ask you. I know we've had our ups and our downs. Well, at times it's felt like it's mostly downs." "Yeah, that's because it has been. And yet, something's always drawn me back to you, despite your indifference. No matter how hard I tried to make you smile, you would always resist. At first I was dismayed, frustrated, but gradually I came to take it as a challenge. I believed that someday I was going to get through to you, no matter what. I tried harder and harder to no avail, but somewhere along the way I realised something. You weren't the challenge I had to overcome. I needed to get through to myself. I wasn't going to win your heart with simple pleasantries. I needed to be a better, stronger man. So I walked a different path. I led others and inspired them to victory, all because I found faith in myself. But I was only able to choose this path because I knew it would always lead me back to you." I keep reading this out wrong, but it still works, bear with me. And Gwen says, "Kieran, I don't know what to say to that." "Then I'll help you find the words. Say either yes or no, because I'm asking, will you marry me?" "Wait, marry you? What makes you think that? What about what if I... I don't know what to say. You impossible idiot, putting me at loss for words. I don't know what it's about you, but you get under my skin, into my head, and somehow, I think, into my heart." Ah, look at her lowering her head like that. This is so awkward between these two. So, yes, fine, yes, I'll marry you. Someone has to take care of you. I don't ever want you disappearing on me like that again. Then I'll stay here, right by your side. Well, you can leave me as long as you go to get yourself cleaned up. I'm not going to marry you looking like you just crawled out of a hole. Oh, and Kieran, what is it? You better not put your hair back into that stupid ponytail. I never liked that thing. Oh, God, I didn't mention that. Whoops. What? He says? Oh, I didn't mention that. Shit. Maybe I should have pointed that out. Yeah, I think when you first meet him in some of those first quests, he's got a ponytail, but after his whole thing there where he meets Miku, he kind of cuts it after he experiences the death of Langmar. I think, do you know what? If this was a different story, I think if I was writing this, I would have put a bigger spin on Thackeray's changed because he was there with Langmar if she died. They gloss over that too much. They really do. There's some serious stuff right there, but they just kind of say, "Oh yeah, Langmar's dead, now we're going to do this story." But yeah, there you go, guys. That's it. That's the story of Gwen and Kieran. He tries on Gwen. It doesn't work. He tries on Langmar. She dies. Who knows? Maybe she pushed Kieran away and it got a bit dark there for Kieran for a moment. I don't know. And then he went to Miku and now finally back to Gwen. So it's not the end of Hearts of the North though. There's the wedding. I thought this thing that I thought was happening at the Anvil Rock, I thought he proposed there. I don't know why, but I was sure that they proposed like on Anvil Rock, and that little speech happened there, and it was like this beautiful scene of them on top of the rock with all the snow billowing around them. Maybe it was that I thought that was supposed to happen when it came out, and then I'd like posted about it or something, and then kind of thought that's what happened because we were discussing it or something. I don't know. That's really weird. That completely took me by surprise. I was sure that he was going to propose there. Anyway, there you go. That's the proposal. Big spoiler right there. Nobody knew they were going to get married. What a shocker. What love story ever ends with one of them dying or a marriage? Let's be honest here. So once again, you zone through again, and we get some more text. Whenever I thought about weddings as a child, I always thought about how beautiful they were. I never realised they take so much work. I guess this is like a week or so later. Actually, look, he's cut his hair. Oh, maybe he still had the ponytail. He's definitely just cut his hair from what it was earlier. It's very different now. People are constantly nagging. When is it? When's the date? When's it going to be? No, you can't do this. That's not proper. No, that can't be there. Oh, let's run away. Let's forget about all of this and go get married somewhere quiet and secluded for the ceremony. When we come back, we'll already be married. Maybe then people would stop pestering us. Thinking of Kieran. Has that Norn been standing there this whole time? I wasn't quite sure how to read that. Ha! You must have been an excellent hunter to have seen through my camouflage. I came here as soon as I heard that my friend Kieran had returned. I wish to hear his epic tale, says Volgar. But now I find my good friend in trouble, facing insurmountable odds. What a challenge this wedding must be. A challenge fit only for legendary Norn. Very well, leave this to me. And then he runs off. And Gwen says, well, what just happened? I love that. That's so good. I love it. It's called Hearts of the North, right? You've seen the concept art. Well, not concept art. You've seen the screenshots and stuff. The wedding takes place up here. Finally, the Norn get a little bit of a say in the story. Seriously, the more these kind of things happen, the more I love the Norn. Just how they take everything as this huge challenge. Wedding, it has to be amazing. And that's what these next quests are about. Indeed, we can speak to, she still has a like proper emo intro dialogue there, that kind of sucks. But yeah, we can speak to Kieran now and we get 2 quests, right? The wedding, okay, if you do that, then that's just Hearts of the North over. You can go back to do non-catering, but this is an optional side quest, the only one in Hearts of the North, and we're going to do it obviously first. So, Thackeray says, it was depressing when this came out because I remember so many people just skipped it. But he says, hello friend, what can I do for you? I feel like I owe you one, or about 20 at this point. Non-catering. Lots of dialogue. This is what I like. Hello, Peter Redhill. I have something important I'd like to ask of you. According to Norn tradition, the families of the betrothed are required to perform certain duties in preparation of the wedding. As you know, Gwen and I both lost our families in the searing. Well, no, we didn't hear much about him losing his family, did we? I put a great deal of thought into what I'm about to ask you, but given your history with Gwen and how much you've done for us, I would be honoured if you would fulfil these obligations into our family stead. Of course you'd be honoured. You've always meant a great deal to Gwen. You reminded her of life before the searing. While see, this is interesting. In Eye of the North, they didn't specifically say this. They didn't show your character. They like did some very weird things. They changed dialogue and stuff because your character could be from any campaign. But I'm pretty sure this is the same for every character, regardless of where you start. So they're like, you reminded her of life before the searing. I guess that does work. As someone from factions, you just, I don't know, you've got a nice spirit, and that reminds her of it somehow. But that's definitely written as if you're a prophecies character in mind, I think. While reminiscences of that time used to bring her nothing but pain and anger, I think she's finally realising that she should cherish those memories, not suppress them. We learned that already. If you are willing to perform these duties, the first task you must perform is to hunt the greatest and tastiest beasts of Tyria for the wedding feast. After all, if you're going to be an honorary Thackeray, you're going to have to live up to our reputation as great hunters. So you're not going to be hunting even though you're a great hunter? Okay, I know it would mean a lot to Gwen, and I know it would be a great deal to me as well. Are you willing to fill this important role? Yeah, sure, it would be my honour. I feel like this quest should be given to you from the Norn. You are going out and hunting stuff. It's a bit like the start of Norn kind of area in Guild Wars 2. I feel like that big Norn Volgar should have been like, oh yeah, I'll do it. There you go. We'll get the wedding quest later when we're actually in due time for it. But this is Norn Catering. This is a pretty cool quest. It will take you to all 3 different continents and in a search for big game, essentially. I'm not sure whether it's a needle in a haystack, but I have got a wiki over on my other monitor here so I can see. Here we go. So we have 3 tasks. First, slay the Alpha Tyrannus inside Alsacia Tangle for fine, slow-roasted Tyrannus fillets. Lovely. Hunt down the elusive Black Moa inside Mourning Vale Falls for spicy Moa wings, and defeat 3 ripened Mirage Ibogas inside the Garden of Siborin for the gourmet Iboga salad. 3 of 3 remain. Alright, I guess we can start with the Tyrannus, since it's the one I've spoke most about. Oh, we didn't go to the Tarnished Haven? Really? Okay, well, mind you, actually, Wiki says it's quicker to go from Rata Sum anyway. So, what we're going to do, we've seen the walk before. This is what I mean about cutting, guys. So, I will be cutting it until we get to a more appropriate area, I guess. So, I'll see you guys in a second when we're at the Alpha Tyrannus. Oh, there's actually one thing that I wanted to talk about, but I keep forgetting to mention, actually, that I didn't realise until a couple of days ago when Magical Mike reminded me of it. Miku. But we've pretty much seen everything that's to do with Miku now in the Hearts of the North, and she's pretty much out of the plot now, right? But there's something kind of cool about her. Before she was introduced to Hearts of the North, before any of this stuff came up, as you know, at Halloween, there's something called the Costume Brawl, right? And in the Costume Brawl, everybody gets specific skill sets. It's like PvP that's essentially really well balanced, ArenaNet pick, all the skills, all the attributes, all of that stuff, and you dress up as heroic figures from the Guild Wars series. So say you're a female assassin and there are different female assassins you could play as. Well, in 2008, 9 maybe, the year before Hearts of the North came out, they did this at the Halloween thing, and one of the female assassins that you could play randomly seemed to be this person that we'd never met, and it was Miku. She was actually introduced in the game before we could actually have any idea of her involvement with Guild Wars Beyond or anything like that, which I think is really cool. So players actually had that chance back then to be playing and be like, who the hell is this character? What's going on here? Is this someone we're gonna be meeting later? Which is really cool, because with Winds of Change now, there's another character, and I'm not going to talk about it too early, but there's a very mysterious character that's referenced constantly in Winds of Change, but you never meet. Really mysterious, really awesome character off in the background, and I'm curious if, like, this coming Halloween, maybe that character will appear in, I almost like gave away their sex there, but maybe that character will appear in the Costume Brawl and they'll do the same thing as they did with Miku. I think that would be so cool. So yeah, a little bit of trivia there about Miku, I suppose. It's something to say at the very least on the walk down here. The route I took, in case I wasn't clear, you just walk down there and then down here to the tangle. There is an outpost here, but I suppose there's just more things to kill on the way. Anyway, here we go. This guy is level 34. But just before this guy was added to the game, the highest level thing you could come across in Guild Wars was level 32. And there were various things that were level 32. They were very powerful bosses that would be like level 30 normally. However, if you played in hard mode, they'd appear at level 32. This was the first time we ever saw something higher level than that. It was really cool. You saw how big he was. Absolutely massive. The biggest thing in the game, actually, I think, unless you like count Abaddon's like pretty big, but he's not like a normal enemy. That guy, I think, is still essentially the biggest enemy in the game. He's absolutely huge. You just compare his size to the other Tyrannus. It's amazing. Which I think is really cool that they picked like the T-Rex to be like the massive creature like that. Really awesome. Do we actually have to pick up the item? See, they don't do that anymore. I guess they just feel like that's bloat. But I quite liked that. Back in Prophecies, you'd kill stuff, you'd actually have to pick the item up. But here you don't. Right, so there you go. That's him down there. He's pretty cool. Since he was added, though, more and more updates have been even higher level stuff appearing. Right up to the level... Oh, no, actually. Well, the helicopter that was added April Fool's Day was level 40, but there are actual other things level 40 as well. I think there's even something higher than level 40. So yeah, very high level stuff started getting added. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's so stupid. Why would you be doing it? I think it's quite cool seeing stuff levels boost up really high. So do expect more of that as we go through. But yeah, who should we go for next? The Black Moa or the Mirage? I'm going to go with the Black Moa, because by doing this I don't have to zone through Embark Beach, because if you go to Alona, if you don't do it through Embark Beach, you have to cut your party down, and it's just a bit of a pain in the arse, so I'll do that in a bit. Yeah, this one, the Black Moa. Interesting. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I can't remember much of what we'd established the story, like the timeline with the Black Moa as well. I mean, I remember when we were doing all the Black Moa content, we did manage to put it all into a pretty solid timeline to say, right, this is where this started, this is where this happened. We're going to be going from Durheim Archives here. This is when this happened, and we kind of established which Black Moa Onyx was and all that kind of stuff. But I can't remember if we decided that there was I mean, I know that there were two Black Moas. One of them was one that was described elsewhere, or that we killed in one of the quests, or the one that we tamed. One of them obviously was the one that Zoe had found, or was like pestering her. And did she kill it in the story? But anyway, I can't remember whether we decided there were still Black Moas around in the Echo Vald. I'm pretty sure they're in Guild Wars 2 actually, so they obviously are alive and they do breed and they kind of continue to exist here. So it's not too far-fetched to think that there's another Black Moa around that we now have to hunt down and find. I quite like that it's a Black Moa because it's, you know, it's one of those exotic. It's one of the exotic animals interior that also has had quite a lot of story about how rare it is and all the different things you have to go to, and like very specifically how it's born and created and stuff. And there's been a lot of depth there. I think that's really cool what they did with the Black Moa. So to come back to it here, I think was quite fitting. I mean, really, it looks like they struggled with the other one with the Ibogas, but I suppose, you know, they have been established as plants before and stuff like that. So whatever. Anyway, over there you can see. Oh, actually, is the first spot here? Have we already been to the first spot? Oh, did the quest marker just move? I think the first spot was right here, and that's the Mourning Vale Falls, isn't it? That's where you have to submerge the egg during the scavenger hunt, which is really quite cool. But yeah, lots of wardens. You saw over there, plants were fighting each other. That's the Echo Vald for you. Corruption of Shiro Tagachi still reigning like mad, causing all these fights. Wardens, if you guys have been watching the Dungeon series, talking a lot about these guys. Are we looking at Sylvari? Are we? I don't think it's too much of a stretch. You can look. A few people were like, "Oh no, I don't buy that." But you've got to look at, yeah, that is where you submerge the egg, yeah, right in the falls. But what you've got to look at is they don't look exactly like Sylvari, but there could be all these different environmental factors that changed whatever pale tree was here. I mean, just look at how big all the trees are here as well. Like, we know that the pale tree is this massive tree that dwarfs all the other trees that really we've seen interior so far. But it ain't too out of the ordinary when you come to the Echo Vald forest, is it now? Let's be honest here. And they didn't grow when they turned to stone. This is just the kind of forest it was. It seems like the perfect place for Sylvari to have been. It really does. But anyway, I'm not going to harp on about that in this series here. It's different stuff. But yeah, as you can see, could see over there. Oh, I see what I've been missing. Yeah, what happens in this quest is you walk over to the Black Moa, and it teleports away. It like stealths and leaves before you can kill it. And in its place, a load of wardens spawn. I don't think we should look too significantly at lore into that. Like, ooh, the wardens are defending the Black Moas. Especially don't combine that with the little theory about them maybe being Sylvari. That would just get nuts pretty quick. But yeah, that's basically what's going on here. It's just that you walk over to the Moa. Suddenly you have to fight a load of stuff as it all runs in from the side. I think this is the last one here. No, it's not. You keep chasing it in like a bit of a circle, and you kind of catch it again, right? You see, look, you can keep charging it, and then eventually it disappears. And you get a load of wardens appear here. Really, don't do what I just did. I've over-aggroed, because now I've got all these plants fighting me at the same time. Watch out for that. Well, mind you, did the plants fight against the wardens? Well, in the lore, the wardens are fighting only because of the curse of Shiro Tagachi. That's the only reason they hate the humans. That's why they're hostile, because of Shiro. They're actually trying to defend the forest. And it's got that lore, like, that they're working in mysterious ways to try and bring it back to life, which I think is really cool, because it established that once we killed Shiro, that just killing him and, like, actually sending him away to the Domain of Anguish, that wasn't enough to cause all of this to revert back. So I like but we know that it does revert back by Guild Wars 2. So I like the idea that whatever these mysterious things the Wardens were doing actually is working, and that they actually do have some part to play, and maybe some corresponding processes going on in the Jade Sea, maybe, but there's no real faction there that you could, unless it's the dragons themselves. I mean, that's so huge. Like, if there's anything to take from Cantha while you're looking at Guild Wars 2 at initial launch, like, I get a lot of people that like watch the Let's Plays that we've done, right, and they get to Cantha and they say, oh yeah, I was kind of interested in this, but it doesn't seem to have much relevance, or, you know, like Asian kind of stuff isn't really my thing. I get those kind of comments a lot, and it's true, there's not much right now because we're not actually going to be in Cantha come Guild Wars 2's launch, right? There's not much that we can take away from the whole campaign. But if there was one thing I'd say we should take away, it's look at the dragons that are here. The dragons are so prominent. They're so important. They're not like the Elder Dragons, but all the other dragons we've heard of so far, particularly with Glint, have had some relation there. So I'm a big believer Kunavang's linked with the Deep Sea Dragon, as you all probably know. And I reckon maybe those other smaller dragons are like, I don't know, you'd think that if they were like Kunavang's minions or something, it would have been established kind of thing. That we know that they were intelligent, that they lived in peace with the humans for a very long time. The only reason that stopped is because they became corrupted by Shiro. That's the only reason. And obviously we had the intelligence ones. We spoke to some of them. There was that really lucky one, if you remember, that we ended up speaking to. Interesting. But yeah, mantids, chicka. I love their names. Chicka, 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 chicka. Oh god. Okay, so clearly I'm out of commentary. I'm going to speed it up until we walk over to this. I'll see you guys in a second. Christ almighty.